My name is Paresh Hadani. Asa madam, are you going to give some introductory part?
Yes.
Yes, sir. First. Okay.
Please.
So first, good morning, every students and faculty and all that viewers who are right now watching this webinar. Welcoming in this online PU webinar series. Today today we have expert Mr. Paresh Hadani, who is retired scientist for the Baba Atomic Research Center. He has also worked with the Nuclear Power Corporation of India for control and instrumentation systems, and he also completed work in the technology transfer, manufacturing setup, establishment for EPFBX and KTS for Nitsuko Technology Japan. He has also handled various projects for the concept from the concept's design stage to implementation and operation and maintenance life cycles covering data centers and server rooms, network, CCTV, and all that things. After that, he also completed or he is act as a advisor to Colombo Police and Sri Lankan corporates for security technology and IT solution. He is also lead business of IT and ELV system integration with Checkmate Group by acquiring a company at Bangalore deliver automation project to BEL and L&T and ABB and Alstom and Adani Group, etc. He is also working in the technology means industrial internet of things, and also gives I am very they are giving with IIoT and robotics and security technology. So plus please sir. Hello sir, can you continue now?
Yeah,
Hello.
I can continue. I was actually observing that your...
Paresh sir, can you continue now?
Yes. Are you getting my voice properly?
Oh.
Oh? My voice is audible?
Yes, Paresh, everything is fine. Now you can continue with your topic. I request you first of all brief about your profile, that your work
Yes, sir.
at Baba Atomic Research Center. Okay, and then we continue with our today's topic. Okay, AI, IoT, and robotics.
Yes, sir. Yes, totally fine.
Okay, fine. Good morning, friends. Thank you, PU Webinar, for providing me this opportunity to present technology trends and opportunities in the field of artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and robotics-related technology developments. See, I am basically an electronics engineer, passed out in 87, 88 from Gujarat University, and with 3 decades of experience in various related environments. We have worked consistently in the fields of IT and related technology solutions. And my experience is more than 3 decades and very diverse. But today we will focus and discuss something in the field of artificial intelligence, industrial Internet of Things, and robotics related opportunities and technology trends. Now, first let us understand what is the need for these technological developments. So we know that technological developments have changed our life, and a lot of things have come which have started from the electricity to mechanical things to steam engines. But now when we talk about IT, the IT was started with basic computers, but now things have grown much beyond with the development of internet and laptops and these smartphones. So artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, machine learnings, and all these things are very important and need is realized because it is changing and impacting the way we live our life, the way we do business, and the way the whole society is progressing further. Now, when we talk about the learning knowledge, all these developments have to be appreciated by our younger generations as early as possible. And that is why the concept of STEAM is coming, that is science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths. And for the holistic development, in addition to all extracurricular activities, now our younger generation must be provided with the opportunity to learn about the STEAM related things. And in engineering college also, the developments are becoming so fast and so focused that students will have to put in their own efforts to learn all these technologies in addition to what is being taught in the official university curriculum. Now, what are the options available for the students? So, nowadays in younger generation, YouTube is very popular and a lot of information and knowledge is available on YouTube. But we know that the students with a lot of self-drive, burning desire, and guidance and resources, they can learn. But this kind of learning on the YouTube or casual media will not be milestone driven, and they may not prepare students for the real market demand. So that has to be done in a professional way. And all our CBSE syllabuses and university syllabuses are also catching up with the market demand in a particular speed. And it is observed that technology developments are much faster than all these syllabus upgrades are happening. Government also has realized this need, and they have started the Atal Innovation Mission and robotics labs in the school level, and that is preparing the right foundation for students of the next generation. But for our engineering college students and the professionals who are interested in understanding all these things, we have got a lot of resources available, and we can offer a lot of guidance and other things. But in this seminar, we will focus in the discussion on the technology trends, and we will not talk about selling or marketing of our services at all. Okay. Now we will talk about the few things. Artificial intelligence. Now, let us not talk about the basic things. What is computer? What is operating system? What is software? We will come that the way human brain can observe surrounding parameters, collect inputs, process it, take decision, and take action. So similarly, artificial intelligence is arranging environment whereby software is designed in such a smart way that it will capture all input data, maybe from various kinds of sensors and software parameters and inputs, and it will take decision. And the classic example which has affected everybody's life today is Google Map. Now, if you observe how Google Map is being used, earlier it was used only by the educated and techno-savvy people, but today you can see that every taxi driver and every basic uneducated person has also started using the Google Map. And let's say that when we are driving our car and we are thinking that now we'll have to take right turn, but if Google Map is showing that you should take left turn, most of the people will go for taking left turn because they have started trusting the technology and artificial intelligence and algorithms of Google more than their own decision. So this is a very, very classic example how artificial intelligence has impacted our routine life. Now coming to the field of IoT. IoT is basically Internet of Things. Now from where this concept is coming? So we know that initially Internet was getting connected on the large computers, desktop computers, later on laptops, and now on mobiles. But we know that if you want to monitor and control anything, it has to be connected to internet. Particularly when mobile-based controls are available, we will like to monitor and control everything which is around us. It may be in our home, it may be in our office, it may be in our factory, or it may be anywhere. So Let us take one basic example. Let us not talk which is not applicable to majority of the people. If you take our home, so we will talk about the say at home we need to control our lights, fans, AC, even say microwave oven, refrigerator, AC, and what all washing machine kind of things. But only problem is that all these equipments and gadgets what we are using, they are not originally designed to get connected to internet. Now there are two ways that latest technology, gadgets, equipments, and all these devices are coming ready, which can be connected on internet, and we can do monitoring and control. But there are already existing investment in all these equipments. Presently, if I want to control my washing machine or residence AC or refrigerator, they are not designed or manufactured with ready internet connectivity. So there are ways to install additional sensors to be retrofitted and connect them to the internet. And when we talk about Internet of Things, means everything. It will try to connect everything in residence, everything in your vehicle, everything in your office and industry. And this is the way we are going to monitor all our surrounding equipments, and that will give us a lot of control. Because if you talk about any typical industry, all the industrial equipments are getting connected to control room, and control room has got the panels for monitoring and control. But when IoT will come into picture effectively and completely, it will free up the person not to get locked to the control room, and all the monitoring data and control command capabilities will be available on the mobile. And all these things are being done with coding and programming, and coding and programming will be very important to drive all these things. So when we spoke about the AI, we briefly spoke about the IoT. Similarly, coding and programming need not be explained much because they are the basics for driving all these developments. Then when we talk about the robotics, we are talking about the electromechanical components, because we will have to control arms, motors, industrial machines, conveyor belts, all these things where only electronics is not sufficient, but real life equipments we will have to control, where mechatronics and robotics will come into picture. And motors are the classic example which is being heavily used everywhere. Now when we come about the 3D modeling, so see, the typical printing originally was two-dimensional. On the x-axis and y-axis on a plain paper, drawings were being done. But now when we put some material layer by layer and progress vertically on the z-axis, 3D printing is also achieved, and softwares are available for modeling and preparing objects by 3D printing. This is another very relevant growth area for technology. Then we talk about the aerodynamics, because with the artificial intelligence, the miniaturization of the hardware components, and uh, aerodynamics technology, drones are available. Now everybody knows that some companies have started delivering pizzas with drones, and some companies have started delivering other courier delivery of the boxes using drones. And on our country borders, for defense and for controls also, drones are being effectively used. So all our younger generation people will have to understand the aerodynamics, technology, and drone related things also in a very quick and effective way. Now, when we talk about the remote control and monitoring, we know that all the devices are becoming smart. A lot of sensors are generating data from every corner of our field. It may be our home, it may be our office, it may be our factory, or it may be our city highways and traffic areas. All the sensors are bringing in data, and all the data cannot be handled directly at the edge device like smartphone. So all the data is being stored on a server that is called cloud server, and cloud services are becoming extremely important. Now we know that originally when Microsoft was driving the development of computers and Windows was trying to prepare all the kinds of data and files, the moment Android development was driven by Google, all the data from the Google Android devices are being stored on the Google Cloud services. And these cloud services have changed the way we are working and we are thinking, because all the data is available at the central location. It has given the capability for the mobility, and multiple people can log in and control all the devices simultaneously. So these cloud services are becoming backbone for all these developments as a technology platform. Next logical thing what we need to talk, and younger generation who are technical savvy, they will have to understand is industry standard 4.0. Now we know that industry is effectively exploiting the technology for various things, but as I explained, all the equipments monitoring and control is wired to control room, where a lot of SCADA PLC based control systems are also there. But industry standard 4.0 has given the mobility to all these monitoring and control, and it has made the industry smart. And this is the development of less than a decade recently, and we will briefly talk about the industry 4.0 also in this discussion. Now we have spoken about the learning planning. So when we talk, if let us say that some student wants to learn from the early age, so how it can be done? So we will have to talk about the basic kits of robotics. They will have to understand the concepts of mechanical engineering, assembly, electrical engineering. Then we talk about the electronics engineering. Then we talk about the power, where the basic power will be provided by batteries. And once all these things are being done, the concept of mechanical assembly, electrical, electronic concepts will be very useful. Then they will have to do the project with the programmability, where the small microcontrollers and single board computers like Arduino and Raspberry Pi are important. And all these projects now students should actually start exploring from the education standard of first standard or second standard itself. Then they will be ready to exploit the technology at the right time, at the right age. Let's quickly talk about the tools. So when the programming has to be appreciated by student in the younger age, it will be very difficult for them to understand what is the syntax, what are the coding rules and other things. So this scratch kind of visual programming tools are developed, and in a fun way, younger generation can learn the logics of coding and programming in a very quick way. But this can be the starting point for coding for any children in the early schooling. And this will enable not only programming, but it will enable the capability to develop app. So this MIT App Inventor kind of tool can be used, where visual programming tools can be used. And on Android platform, apps can be developed by the younger school-going children, which will control a lot of real-life things and which will give them a lot of sense of satisfaction and happiness that they have developed something which is affecting our real life. When we come to the 3D printer, as I explained, that the typical ink-based 2D printers were printing only on a one plane, that is plain paper, on the x-axis and y-axis. But 3D printers have started printing by primarily melting plastic material or PVC kind of material. I'm not using the technology jargon or technology terms, but in this slide or in this picture, you can see that 3D printer has got a white color, blue color, and a yellow color input plastic material, which will get melted, and horizontally while moving in X and Y direction, Z direction piece also will be built up, and that is the way the 3D printed objects will be made. Now, the current research and development is on, and the reality will become to use 3D printing for various other kind of input material also, like civil construction, where we have got a lot of things like cement, concrete, where we might need to use steel and a lot of other things. But these developments are on the way, and a lot of 3D printing technologies will be available. When we spoke about the microcontroller, the most accepted and successful example is the Arduino board. So Arduino board is basically a microcontroller which enables students to design and test and implement basic projects where a lot of analog inputs and digital inputs can be connected. All the sensor data will be taken, it will be processed. The C level programming coding platform is available, and based on that, the output can be generated. We can talk about the Arduino platform also separately, but at this moment, we'll restrict our discussion to the basic introduction part. Raspberry Pi is the next generation development where it is like near a single board computer which will provide students with the capability to connect not only digital and analog inputs, sensor data, but it will provide the ready connectivity interfaces for USB, TCP/IP, that is RJ45 socket, and we can connect various other connectivity technology options like say Wi-Fi and other things also. And with that, a lot of higher level programmings can be done and a lot of controls can be achieved. This thing is becoming very critical in the environment of miniaturization and basically industry standard 4.0, because in the industry where a lot of equipments are working in a various challenging environment, sometimes installing full-fledged computers may not be workable there. So this kind of a single board PCB, very small size computing power hardware can be installed, and if cabling is also not practically feasible, we can connect all these processed sensor data outputs through a local Wi-Fi network, and from there itself we can capture all the data, store on the cloud server, and from that cloud processed data and report can be arranged for the users on their mobile, and that user carrying mobile need not be in the control room or factory premises. He can be there anywhere in the world, and complete factory control is available on his mobile. So this is the way technology is going. This is the area where a lot of career opportunities are coming, but the knowledge has to be captured by the ambitious students as early as possible to drive their career. The drone part we have seen, so basically that is an unmanned aerial vehicle, and the picture shown in this slide over here is a drone with one small camera mounted on that. And nowadays, everybody must have seen that in every public function or even say marriage function, the video recording to be done by drone camera has become very common. So that is a layman user perspective, but as far as the technology savvy people and professionals and students who are interested, they will have to understand the laws of aerodynamics behind that, what are the components of the drone, how it can be assembled, what are the interfacing devices are available. Typically, the Cygnus ID is the coding environment available for drones for basic sets. The Cygnus ID is using the C++ programming language as a base, and it will have various other regulatory things also, because Director General of Civil Aviation is ultimately going to guide, because it can have effect on our defense and specific areas where it can interfere with the security planning also. Coming to the arms. Now, basically, when we try to mimic what human beings can do, so like artificial intelligence is taking the power of thinking, processing inputs, and delivering the output or decision, the actual action on ground can be taken by this kind of arms where some physical activities can be controlled and moving of material or picking up object, dropping, stacking, all these things can be achieved. The basic, these kind of tools are already being used by various industries at various levels, and various level industrial automations are there in picture. But now with this technology of machine learning, deep learning, and robotic arm development, these solutions are becoming smarter. And when we talk about the robotic manipulator, they can definitely move boxes or objects, pick boxes or objects. They can do 2D and 3D printing also. They can do laser engraving also. And all these robotics arms will be capable to control and communicate using the wireless communication. Even human voice controlled robots are also available. And when we capture all these things, then the arm, if given the shape of human body, it will become like a humanoid. So these are basically the human machines, and which will have a huge impact in our life, and this changing coming much faster than what we anticipate. Now let us take the quick look at the effect on the industry and economy. Now we know that first industrial revolution, we can say that more than 100-year old. It started with the human being exploiting the power of water and steam. That is where the basic machines and tools like screws, levers, pulleys, all these things came, and the steam engine came into picture. In the second industrial revolution, we know that electricity got invented. Then the telecommunication foundation was laid with the telegraph communication, and in industry, mass production lines came into action. And initially, when all production and manufacturings were being done by human hands, where it has got a lot of limitation about the speed, quality, consistency, and volume, the mass production lines actually made a huge impact by getting the consistent, uniform quality bulk output at a much lower production cost, and the economy was impacted in a nice way. Now, when we talk about the third industrial revolution, electronics came into picture, computers were invented, and desktop computers progressed to laptop computers, mini computers, smartphones, touchpads, iPads, and all these developments was successfully exploited by the industrial automation environment also. And instrumentation also originally started with the basic pneumatic instrumentation and control. Now that has come long way in the ways of electromechanical instrumentation, and a lot of things are happening now with the robotics arms and other things. And when we talk about the PLC and SCADA-based controls, that made the industrial control in a real smart way. But the limitation was that all these things, sensors, inputs, and data, all these things were wired and they were presented in the control room. But now with this industry standard 4, it has become available on mobile, and a lot of mobility benefits are there. So this term industry standard 4.0 was actually coined initially in 2012 by a German working group, and they are the pioneers, and a lot of developments are going on. And in Indian environment, the implementation of industrial standard 4.0 is in infancy stage, and a lot of things are yet to happen again. And the main thing is that monitoring and control of machines and equipment in real time and through mobile, wherever the interesting stakeholder is available, That is very important. Let us briefly understand what is industry standard 4 further. So we know that if we talk about the industrial production floor, or how industry will have to handle the quality, volume commitments, cost, and related management, there are comparison of pre-internet days and post-internet days. We know that in pre-internet days, we have got a lot of manual way of handling our problems and processes. So clipboards or notice boards were there, paper memos were there, schedule sheets were there, attendance registers were there, personal meetings were there, where a lot of travel was involved. Then maintenance requests were done, schedules were prepared, shift report and daily reports were happening. Then resource planning utilization was done in a systematic way, and the dynamic updates of the resource planning was not happening, and wired communication was there, and computers were used with the basic data for tools like Excel. Now, when you talk about the current days, where a lot of internet-based connectivity and all these technologies like artificial intelligence and Internet of Things and cloud services are available, all the output data has come to the smart screens. Immediately, SMSs and emails are going on mobile, and alerts are getting generated, notifications are coming, and mobile apps are very powerful. The involved human beings or human operators are having GPS based tracking and guiding capability. Online meetings are happening, and the physical location or distance limitation is also handled in a nice way. And this is becoming very critical in nowadays of COVID environment, where we know that physically meeting has been discouraged, and by keeping social distance, people can complete all the meetings, and the complete economic development is being driven on the online meetings and IT platform, and the whole country's economy is being driven by this IT community because of this internet platform and remote online meetings. Similarly, for the maintenance purpose, we can see that remote and online maintenance support is available. In the earlier days, when people were taking remote desktop, they were using various applications, and remote expert was guiding local maintenance person by looking at the screen. But nowadays, the control is very easily passed on to the expert who is located in any corner of the world, and similar quality and expertise is delivered for the maintenance support purpose, where the traveling of expert is not required, quality of services is maintained, and a lot of benefits with huge financial impact is achieved. The main thing is that all these data control monitoring is available real time. In earlier days, when some fault was happening, it was being reported, and the maintenance services people were running. All those things are reducing day by day, and real-time data-driven preventive maintenance is possible. And because of this preventive maintenance, the downtime is coming down, and it has got a huge financial effect. Now, resource utilization also is improving, because in earlier days, when we used to plan the resource utilization, we were not able to take a quick decision about change in plan of the resource utilization. But now, because of all the information available live, resource utilization decisions can be taken very fast, and better utilization is made available. Now, when we talk about internet-based voice, image, video, data, and more importantly, analysis available through cloud, the impact of industrial control in post-internet days is big. Just to give a layman language, we say that human to human communication is now being used using the smartphones and smart technology I can say around 80 to 90%, or the majority of the educated human beings are today use smartphones, and that is the way the penetration of the smart technology driven communication is more than 90%. But now let us come to the industrial environment where, like human beings, machines also keep constantly working. Machines also have got problem. Machines wants to tell something to their people, but we will ask question that your equipment and machinery wants to talk to you. Are you listening or are you ready to listen? So in a different way, if we say that like human to human smart communication is more than 90%, the machine to human smart communication is not even 10%. So by exploiting industry standard 4.0, the machine to human communication by technology driven way will also grow drastically from current single digit percentage level to the much higher level, and that is where the huge growth is expected. And why we are talking about the huge growth? Because our people, our younger generation, our engineers will have to develop and capture these skills where growth will be huge, the market demand will be huge, careers will be huge, and a lot of benefits will be huge. Now, when we come to the parameters, what all parameters can be monitored and controlled by using solutions of Internet Standard 4.0? So we know that in industry, various equipments are being used, and we start with the basic things like electricity is being used in a huge way. So current, how much current is being used? What are the variations in the current consumption trends? Similarly, voltage, power factor, all these electrical parameters are very important. Now we know that when we talk about, let us say, few motors are driving our machinery, and we know that one motor is consuming, let us say, 15 ampere current in a regular way. Now, when the bearing starts deteriorating or motor is aging, the current consumption will get disturbed and motor will start drawing more current. Let us say it has started drawing 16 ampere, 17 ampere. Motor will not stop working. But if you do not correct the problem or if you do not do the preventive maintenance, one time will come when motor will try to consume double the rated current and it will fail. And once the motor or a particular equipment fails in the industry, it will stop the complete production line and it will have a huge loss or financial impact. But now with this industry standard 4.0, when we are daily and live monitoring all these parameters like current, voltage, power factor, we know that the current consumption is trend is changing and it's going more than 10%. So we need to check, and timely corrective action can be taken. And due to this, a lot of financial loss can be saved, a lot of quality control can be achieved, and a lot of benefits can be derived. So, like electrical parameters, we can talk about the vibrations, we can talk about the RH, that is humidity levels, we can talk about the pressure, flow, whatever parameters are required, all those parameters can be monitored and can be processed and decisions can be taken. So similarly, like humidity, pressure, flow, levels for various liquids, water, fuel being used in industry can be used. Even movement and distance analysis also can be used. Illumination level also are very important in some environment. Dust levels are also very important in some environment. Temperature levels are involved. So when we talk about the temperature, speed may be straight speed for movement or rotation speed. Even we need to monitor about the noise levels, sound pressures also. So we spoke about the electrical parameters. We spoke about the physical parameters like pressure, flow, dust level, temperature, rotation, speed, sound. Then chemical parameters also can be measured, like water quality, or quality of whatever material being used. That can be chemical parameters also, that can be gas related parameters also, that can be related to the smoke and heat. When we talk about the image and video, this is very powerful because humans are controlling everything by using their various senses, and where sight is very important sense, and we are effectively leading our life because of our eyes. So cameras have given that kind of control, and image is being captured by camera. But now when intelligence is coming, all these images and videos are getting processed by smart software, and whatever is being seen by camera, like human brain, the software behind the camera can take required decisions, and a lot of benefits are being generated. And that is the direction where artificial intelligence and IoT related solutions are quickly developing. The typical examples will be like human motion related recording, human motion related alerts in the camera coverage area where movement is not expected. Even box counting, people countings are also available. And when all these alerts are getting recorded on the cloud, the data access related alerts and IT alerts are also integrated. So the when we talk about the various things, human face recognition solutions are there, vehicle number plate recognition solutions are there, and all these data either being stored in a raw form on the cloud server, or if intelligence is designed on the edge device, maybe your sensors or camera is also one of the typical sensor only. So nowadays cameras are also becoming smarter, and image processing and alerts or cameras are getting generated at the field only, and alerts are coming on cloud, and then further processing and reporting is being done, and it is arranged for very important manufacturing related and business related decisions. Now let us take a typical screen, how the industry standard 4.0, or in a basic way if we say that artificial intelligence related environment, what will be the dashboard. So this is, I have taken one of the typical dashboard for solar plant monitoring. As we can see that solar power generation concept is also being accepted in a very big way, and because of its inherent advantages, our government is also focusing and pushing in a big way. So when we talk about the solar power plant, it will have few components. It will have a solar panels which will convert our sunlight into electrical energy. All these electrical energy which is coming out of solar panels will be typically a DC power. This DC power will be fed to the inverter. Inverter is basically a equipment which will convert DC energy to AC energy, and then this AC energy can be fed to our load directly, like running light, fan, AC, or whatever electrical equipment we want to learn, or it can be used to charge batteries, and whatever surplus energy can be given to our grid also. So when we talk about the monitoring of the solar plant, we will have to monitor that what is the frequency of the final AC power generated, what is the power generated in a day. So power is basically measured in watt or kilowatt, and energy will be measured in a layman's language as a electrical unit or a kilowatt hour. So when any monitoring or optimization of the solar plant is required, we know that we need to monitor that what one panel is generating or what one string of solar panel is generating, what is the current being coming out of the solar panel as a DC current, what are the voltages coming, and they are changing as expected or not, because with the movement of sun, the DC power generated from solar panel will change, and accordingly AC power will be generated. And if things are not happening as per that, we will have to take corrective action. So this is one of the typical dashboard for industrial Internet of Things based solution. And I can take various different examples and different dashboards, but I'm just giving only one dashboard that all the parameters are available to understand ourselves on one screen. This is basically talking about how the digital thing will improve in terms of effectiveness or financial benefit. Your revenue will grow and operational overhead costs will come down, and it will have financial benefits. Now, when we talk about the career and market, we have spoken about various technology developments and a lot of sensors, coding related things, arms, and IoT related solutions are available. But to effectively use this thing, all industrialists and business people are ready to take benefit of this technology, but they do not know how to implement it. So all technocrats will have to take lead about developing their skills and arrange to deliver these solutions. And that is where the huge market is developing, and that is where a lot of career opportunities are lying. Now, when we talk about the hardware and software related efforts, the client will need first advising or consultancy, then documenting the need. Based on that need, we will have to design a solution, then convert this solution to the technical solution where you choose technology, where you choose components, and where you prepare a bill of material. And then installation effort will come into picture. And nowadays, the only IT related services or IT related expertise will not be sufficient, but the future engineers who are going to drive artificial intelligence or industrial Internet of Things or cloud based services, they will have to understand all related multiple disciplines where hardware, software, electrical, mechanical, programming, 3D printing, designing, all these things will have to be understood together and deliver the whole solution. So if we talk about the industry who are going to get affected or who will be able to take benefit of the development, so I have just listed a summary of some industries, but we can say that each and every industry will get affected and each and every industry will take benefit of this thing. It may be mining, power, oil and gas, consumer durables, factory, agriculture, energy audit, smart, anything. You can actually list out each and every industry over here, and the skill set has to be developed for a specific industry in such a way that our expertise of technology, expertise of IT, expertise of delivering these industry standard 4.0 solutions will give benefit to all these industry, which will affect human life in a big way. Now, when we talk about the market and career opportunities, we need to grossly understand what is the size of market available. So, various surveys are being done, and the global IT market size was in the range of 250 billion US dollars in the year 2019, and it is expected to reach around 1500 billion US dollars by 2027. So that is CAGR, that is um, annual growth rate in the range of 25%. That is huge. And the learning also has to grow in a similar speed. And that is where the career opportunities are lying. And there are various driving factors like efficiency is improving, government is focusing, government is providing a lot of subsidy and financial assistance, technology and connectivity is available. So these are the driving factors. Like initially when we spoke about the Indian market, proper high-speed internet connectivity was not available. But after Reliance Jio came in, the prices of internet dropped, good speeds are available, and it will enable the whole development in a big way further. And after 1 year, when 5G technology will be introduced, it will make all these developments much faster. So this is the size of market, and our people will have to be ready to encash the benefit, and they will have to ensure their learning faster. Now, when we speak about all this technology, ultimately the people are going in the direction of developing a humanoid kind of robot or a solution where majority of functions being handled by human beings today, that will be driven by a human being. In the typical image, you can see that a lot of efforts are on where eyes, ears, sound, all these things being delivered by different sensors. Then hands will be like robotic arms and such kind of things. And ultimately, all our IT hardware, IT software, electrical, electronics, and related solutions will be available, and we can deliver the big thing. So, in a huge trend is coming up, and let us get prepared for our solution. In this discussion, I have not spoken about my organization or what services we are delivering, but in the related field, we have got a team of experts available with us. Anybody who has got any question or any further support or guidance needed, we are available. You can note down my email ID and my mobile number, which is available on the screen. And if any questions are there, I'm available to answer now. Thank you so much. You webinar team?
Hello.
Yes, madam.
Hello. Sir, am I audible to you?
Yes, yes, very much.
Hello. Okay. Sir, right now, if I am saying that all the video, that particular persons, they are not giving any questions. But I have one question to you. Can
Please
you
tell
give
me.
some good experience in your job profile at BARC?
Yeah, sure.
Some
See,
brief on that. Yes, sir.
actually, when I passed out my electronics and engineering in the year 87, 88, that time all these current development of internet and miniaturized hardware and artificial intelligence technologies were not there. And whatever engineering studies we did, or whatever was the syllabus during the 80s, they were not having all these things. So I have been a constantly learning student all my life. And after becoming engineer, our learning never stopped. So what happened? The moment I completed my engineering, I given the interview and entrance examination for the Baba Atomic Research Center training school. That is where the Atomic Energy Department of India is recruiting almost 200 to 300 engineers every year, and we are going through 1 year uh, on all related technology subjects at the BARC training school. So after joining in 88, for 1 year I took training at Rajasthan Atomic Power Stations at Rawat Bata, that is near Kota in Rajasthan, and
Yes.
that's where we were trained on various related technologies, not only on electronics, but it covered electrical, mechanical, civil, even rubber, plastic, instrumentation and control, um, nuclear physics, and related things. And after that, I actually focused on the IT related developments of the nuclear power corporation. And in nuclear power corporation, in our days when all these things were not available, we implemented satellite communication setup. We implemented those days the video conferencing platforms. We integrated various voice networks, data networks, and the video conferencing networks for 7 to 8 atomic power stations all over India to our headquarter in Bombay. And then we did various things in the fields of computer network. Then we did a lot of things on the security technology like CCTV, access control, fire alarm, and related solutions. But when we observe that a lot of technology is being developed and all these technologies have to be utilized in an effective way, the development of Arduino started in the later part of 90s, or you can say in the earlier part of this century. And immediately after that, Raspberry Pi came, various sensors are coming, and the concept of industrial IoT came in. And we did various projects. We did. I was involved in the large project of Hyderabad smart city planning, where we did a pilot project by laying around 100-kilometer fiber around the cyber city in Hyderabad. So Hyderabad has three cities like Hyderabad, Sikandrabad, and Cyberabad. Cyberabad is called IT high tech city also. So Cyberabad has got a separate commissionerate. So we laid 100-kilometer fiber there, and we laid a safe city components like cameras. We set up a control room in the Cyberabad police commissionerate also. Then while working as a consultant with the GMR group, we were invited to London by the Home Office of British government to study the ring of steel and the security technology arrangement for London city. And as a Indian government corporate representative, I visited London for around 14 days, and we were taken to all the technology planning setup of the London city. And all this exercise was done to utilize the expertise for planning solutions for Indian cities. And I was fortunate to get this kind of exposure, and we have done a lot of good work there. And this Hyderabad city pilot project, what we did, that is under implementation today by L&T, which is involving now more than 1 lakh cameras. And you know that now in India, more than 25 cities have already got the safe city and city surveillance projects in place, which includes all even B grade cities are also included now. And similar kind of projects we have done. We did a good project with the Adani Group. So at the Adani Mundra port, they have got a port is a one very large entity, which is one of the largest corporate run port in India. So we did the technology audit for their setup. Then we did the exercise for Adani SEZ. Adani SEZ is basically the land 6 kilometer with 34 gates, and all these 34 gates we planned what are the technology solutions are being used today. And similar exercise we did for the also like Dahej and Goa and all places. So I got opportunity to work with Adani Group, Neymar Group, Larsen and Toubro, Alstom, and a lot of international opportunities works also we have done. So similarly, in recent past, I more than 1 year at Colombo by being advisor to the police for the security technology. and related solutions. So, by utilizing all these experiences, we are in the of IT solutions, IoT, particularly industrial IoT, solar related solutions. And I work as a consultant. We run a training institute also. But let me not utilize this platform for doing any sales activity over here. The contact details are shared with you. Whoever is interested in the expo, I may be contacted. My email and mobile number are shared with you. And I think you can understand.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you for giving your time. So
Yeah.
now, thank you all the viewers who right now do this or who right now get the knowledge from this particular webinar. So, sir, now we are ending here our webinar. And thank you again for giving your valuable time and
Thank you,
giving
sir.
that option for sharing the knowledge as well as the experience.
Thank you.
Thank you. PU webinar now can we leave? Hello. PU webinar, can we leave now?